Alright. This video is the 5 men you should avoid in dating. So I have to, obviously I don't date men, I date women. I have to make this video as a guy who observes other guys, and I'm making it from a perspective of, I'm thinking about my male friends, what they're doing with their life and what they're not doing. The first guy I would avoid for women is a dude who is at the club chasing women every weekend. So let me describe to you what that looks like. First of all, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's a phase in guys' life where your sex drive is high. When your sex drive is high, your desire to be in a monogamous relationship is extremely low. Typical age group for this, typically I would say between the ages of 18 and 24. For a guy who had a late growth spurt, maybe in high school, that may be 21 to about 26, 27. And obviously there's guys in their 30s that have very high sex drives, and they're taking advantage of it. Now they should not be faulted for that. What is more important to me is that the woman be aware of what type of guy she's dealing with. A man who is in the club every weekend, twice a month, and he's out there chasing women, he's not out there working, he's not out there making money, he's not a promoter, he's not a photographer, he's not a DJ, he's a customer out there spending money. I think it's important that you understand that you're not going to get him away from that lifestyle. That is a lifestyle. You're not going to get him away from that lifestyle. So, if you're at a point where you can, combine your lifestyle with him, maybe you like going out too, that's cool. But if you're looking for something more stable, you're looking for, a potential husband to potentially build a family with, the last guy you want to get is a guy who's chasing women, who's very not monogamous, who's promiscuous, who's having sex with a bunch of different women. You're not going to convince him to be with you. There's nothing you can do to convince him to just stop. He's only going to stop when he wants to. So you can think you have some magic vagina that's going to get him out of the club. It doesn't exist, I'm telling you right now. The second guy I would avoid for women is a dude who has no ambition or drive. Like I said, I think about my friends, I think about myself. We all have drive, we all have ambition, we all are motivated to do something, to become something, to create something, to shift the culture, to create a good company, to create a good brand. Like, I'm just thinking about my group of guy friends. I got guys who are managers in corporate America who are trying to make moves, who are trying to, I got guys who are teachers in schools. I got my best friend, he's a teacher, he's a coach, he's a husband, he's a father. I think about that. One of my other good friends, he's a photographer. Me, I'm an author, public speaker. So I think about my group of guys. And that's something that a lot of women don't pay attention to. I think you guys missed the boat on that. When you find one good guy, you usually find a whole group of good guys. So I really think you should stop looking at every single person you meet as okay, I can date him, I can date him. Just become friends with people. Because if you meet one good guy, he could potentially introduce you to 10 other great guys, right? Avoid a dude with no ambition and no drive. Those type of guys hang out with each other. Guys with no ambition and no drive hang out with guys with no ambition and no drive. Guys like me who are motivated, who are trying to do something with themselves, with their lives, who are potentially educated or potentially successful in a financial standpoint, but more importantly, who actually understand relationships, care about, dating and love, all that stuff. Those guys are gonna hang out with each other too. So it's very important that you pay attention to where you're aiming and where the attention you allow in too. The third guy that needs to be avoided is a guy who only wants to be hard, aggressive, thug, and out playing with the boys. So let me just tell you what that means. It's very simple. I'm not talking about a guy who wants to go hit the gym, a guy who wants to, go play basketball, a guy who wants to hang out with his friends. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and male bonding time is necessary. You can have your best friend as your woman, you can have your best friend as your wife, but all men need a guy that they can relate to. Sorry, this fly. All men need a guy that they can relate to, that they can get along with. All guys need men that they can compete with and share events of testosterone with, like playing sports, talking about sports. However, there is a limit to that, and there is a point where if your guy is just hanging out on the block, it's 3, 4 in the morning, he's just sitting outside on the porch, sitting outside on the stoop, just smoking blunts. He has nothing to do in the morning, no interviews, no business. You gotta avoid that guy. You have to let him go through that boy phase. You have to avoid him at all costs. You have to avoid a man who is verbally abusive. I think a verbally abusive man is the most dangerous man in the world to a woman with a fragile heart. I'm big on domestic abuse, and I think verbal abuse is a direct path to domestic abuse, or the physical abuse. If a person is willing to literally put you down directly in front of you, you ain't shit, fuck you, I will fuck you up, you're a horrible person, things of this nature. If they're willing to say those things to you, they're willing to treat you like that. They're willing to choke you. They're willing to punch you. They're willing to rob you. And although I know this is a serious topic, it needs to be taken with a great deal of seriousness, because it is a serious topic. When you see the signs of a person who is verbally abusive, you need to pay attention to that, because when there's love, you don't abuse someone when there's love there. And when a person just naturally has respect in their heart for themselves or for other people, they don't verbally abuse people. In fact, the only time that I think I would verbally abuse someone is if I'm playing basketball with them. I would flat out say, hey man, you ain't shit. You're not scoring on me, you're horrible. But at the end of the game, we shake up. Hey man, it's all respect, it's all love. And that's something that we do as guys, where we bond over competition, and we'll talk. Like, for example, you may see your guy play video games, and he may do that to his opponent, his brother, his best friend. You can't guard me, you're horrible. That's not verbal abuse, that's playing around. That's male horseplay. Verbal abuse is when someone is really putting you down. They're really, really harming you with their words. Now, this could be man or woman, but I think it's more important, this is just my opinion again, a man who does not value health. That's the fifth man you should avoid. Obviously, I think as a woman, you should value health, especially if you plan to make a baby. That baby's going to come from you. So what are you intaking? Are you sleeping? Are you dealing with stress? Are you eating well? Are you digesting GMOs? I mean, these are things that I think about for my woman, because her health is important to me. My health is important to me. We want to eventually create a child one day. So because of that we need to be healthy. Are we drinking too much? Are we smoking too much? Are we sleeping too late? Are we eating too much candy? I mean, these are the type of questions you should be asking yourself, as well as you should be with a man who values health, in my opinion. There is nothing more important than health in this world. I hope these 5 things you should avoid in a man, I hope this helped. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, leave them below.